This is the smell of earth. All objects produce a smell. If they share the same materials, the smells are similar.
We stared at her, uncomprehending, and pressed for examples. Still, we could not grasp the concept. Our noses are for breathing. What is the use of a smell? Why can't ears do it?
Good smells bring pleasure. Bad smells make you turn away.
Good and bad? When she attempted to use food as an example, she was immediately countered. Tasty food can be poisonous. Bitter drinks are often healthy. She conceded, her expression a mixture of agreement and helplessness as she looked back at the tile. It felt as if she were being viewed as a spiritual teacher, one who conjures up something beautiful but unverifiable and calls it smell. The term itself has an ancient, traceable history. In the dictionary, it was once defined as a kind of spiritual force, a sixth sense, a form of idealism.
My explanation has its limits. Surely there is some instrument that can detect smell.
It was as if she were asking us to produce a device that could measure the spectral frequency of ghosts, and while such instruments supposedly exist, our searches showed no formal records of a smell detector. No reputable lab was researching smell. We believe in science, so we weren't about to inquire at some spiritualist shop. The reason we had invited her, however, was that in blind tests, she had indeed identified objects by smell. That alone was astounding. As noted, she could even sense danger. For that, we had to file detailed reports to borrow controlled items. Beyond those, she demonstrated that every common object we could find had a pleasant smell. Some were fragrant, others were faint and hard for her to pin down, but none were foul. So in the blind tests, when we set items on fire to make them dangerous, she described the smell as sharply acrid. But once burning, the objects became indistinguishable to her. We were all perplexed. The only clear fact was the heat from the flames. If smell could not be detected by any instrument, could it be a trick? How she did it remains unknown. We were thinking about making it into a paper and publishing it, maybe in a journal or to the public. But how would that differ from news about aliens? Who, besides her, could perceive smell? Since we put out the call for others, we've encountered mostly lesser frauds, who failed the blind tests, their cultivation clearly insufficient. Even so, we considered protecting her identity. A mystic or a person with anomalous abilities, once exposed to the public eye, would likely face humiliation. We were connected through mutual friends. Otherwise, she could have found faster paths to fame. For a few weeks, we tried to take it seriously. We even discussed applying for research funding. She can distinguish objects without visual input. It still sounded like the claim of a psychic, and made us feel like accomplices, betraying the spirit of science. Later, the team lost contact with the grill. To this day, the internet is full of similar topics, and every time I recall those sessions, I am filled with a profound sense of shame.